Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua la la talua le KVZK TV, Pango Pango, America, Samoa. You are watching KVZK TV Channel 2, Pango Pango, American Samoa. E whatalo whātu le mai mō mai so tātou watunu Samoa se whaopoponga le nei o tala mai le KVZK. E tumu atu I tātou talafou le nei a fiafi. O le aso mua le masina le nei o Novema ua whaatu la whono I nai le whai o tuipuipuia. O le COVID-19 fumalivo tangata whengalwenga le malo Amerika Samoa e au fiai e le whaatapula aina I tangata whengalwenga I mtata SS o tangata whengalwenga whaapolititi ma tangata whengalwenga whaakone karate. O se au telenga o lea ripoti mai a Eric Newsay-Masi.
O tuna mai le kovana ya le manu pane po isa le ngā maunga se rua I tūteunga le tūna whaamnantu ma tāo po le whao peo le soifua maloloina le antino ma tūlanga whalawan whafusei le aso valo oktopa lua afe luas fumatasi. O le tauteunga le neo lo tāo wai le tui o le COVID-19 o whaatula whanoina mo tangata whengaruenga umana malo Amerika Samoa. Ia o fiei tangata whengaruenga o tautua ma matata ma tangata tofia whaapolo kiki tangata whengaruenga whaakon karate. O le tangata whengaruenga lo iai se ia o ia te se masulima lua afe luas fumatasi. Tu nātu whaamaringo tui pui pui le whaatona na tangaruenga tangata whengaruenga le malo le DHR. E mawhaifoi ofisa te tasi maso upu na o ina whaamaringa mo tui mo I lantou tangata whengaruenga e whai masui o le DHR. O le whaupunga I tui pui puia ua whaawingaina o se tangata ua uma o na whai tui atoa ma was fulwhape sila te fo iaso o mawai ina ua mai a le whaatinino na tui. Sau noa le whionga le liko vana I le manu whapea. O te fia whaamteia lo na sai ma le lango le antino. Pe ona sila fia o whaala wilo le malo Amerika Samoa ni porklami wha o Sofia e wha mamawhai le tiuta le tangatalawia. Tu wha te si o tui pui pui ma ngā lulue fantasi ma na ofisa mtau ptau Samoa. Ia whioanga o nuu paanga ma vaenga tum oti. Wha maunu sia ma na ia le wha tinino tui pui pui. O lo wha o peo na pepesi le siama le langi atoa. Ma o le whainu mero lo wha alia mai le wha mai ma tangata o maali liu. E sili anto na maulunga le whaitau o wha o tangata e le whaia ni ala tui. Na I sau no foi, e leo se whiwhiringa whaingo fie, mo se tai tai e whai, ai o te whia whaamteile lutena kovana, le car, whapea foi sui le COVID le vanga task force. Mo le loto tele anga I luma matu I nanto whiwhiringa uma, sa ili linga I awana I si tia ili sila fia, mo tangata le tātu tino, ma le whaatua tuaina, o le vanga le task force, le COVID-19, tanga runga le soifua maloloina, o nanto tau mawhai awana I si ese, mai se le whaamwe moe to telo tātu tangata nuu, ma whau whai o nanto tui pui pui, ai ui ilea, o umoro mātou whaia ni awana I whaambai lunga o whautuanga mai le tax force, o te whaamoe moe na nivala au, na afsusuani le whaatupla ia o le tātou whainumera, la tau o mai au na whaio la tau tui pui pui. O le toa oilo tau maupea le whai tintia o whainga malanga wa lele whaatau teia, se ia o le whainumera tui o tangata le teutori le vanus fulpasene, ngai le iwa fulpasene la whainga o ila tau o tui pui pui. O le teuteunga o ta uai lea o ngā atoa o le tui, o se tangata mana o mia ni tui se lua, ia mai au mo na tui. O na o le teimi whaatunangai no le tui, e lusu tasi aso mo le Pfizer, ma le lusu walu aso mo le Moderna. E te tau le tangata whengalwenga no whaile tui mua le Pfizer, le aso lusu whao Novema, ma le tui mua o le Moderna, ili aso sufito Novema. E le isi tangata whengalwenga whengalwengina, pe a mai a le aso whaatunangai o le nei teuteunga, ai whata amatanga lue pe a usta ia mana onga, whaatunangai mai e inga watuina mai. So o se tangata whengaruenga o le ale mawhai o na tū nātu se wha maoninga o tū I ante se masfulima o le a wha malo lo. O le ale tue wha tangaina la tū na unu whanatu le whale pūlea na malo pe li siina ta vale pe unu whale fo iso se no whanga whengaruenga. Po se no whanga lo e tangata whengaruenga na malo po o tangata lau tele I le teimo na tū ngaruenga. A o wha malo lo e mawhai le tangata whengaruenga no wha o ngāso malo lo wha al tausanga po aso mai ale ai. O le ale ai se tongi o la nātu aso malo lo. E ui no whaatula whaina le whai o tui pui pui, ai na o nātu e whaatangaina le tūna nātu tūlanga e mana o mia le tūna whono. O se no whanga tāne whea ngai, e mwhai o tūna nātu I tangata whinga luenga. So tai antu ane tustu singa le DHR, e winga le mafuanga le whai i o lanto tui. O le mafuanga te tauna whai lo mai, po le ato toa le manosi, po mana o whai toa, po tantununga whai lotu, ia po ni sila fo o mafuanga.
O le pōna taunu mai e le whainga malanga lona whā o malanga masani a le Hawaiian Air. Talu ona tatala fi malanga inga e le awhionga le malo i le masino au kuso. I le mai ai o aso e lua talu ona tatala i tua i la tona whaanofu esea i le whainga malanga lona tolu. Ua saunia nei no fuanga e tolu e peo na masani ai i Trade Winds, Sadies by the Sea, wha apea mawhatu ainga. E au maua i le whainga malanga lona whā mo le se fulu aso. Ina ia mai a le leia la tō suenga ma le teimi e nofu esea ai. E tusa ma le tulafono tau soifo maloloina mo le puipuinga o le atunu i le taunu umai Amerika Samoa. E lua se la wonos fu ma le lua leo whai o le au malanga ina ua mai a la tō suenga e tolu le e whataunu umua mua i Hawaii e pei o ai inga le malo e ala i le talofa pass leo lo whaia ma au wale ma whai ona ulfale mai ai i Amerika Samoa. E to lua ni tamai tai talavou e au fiai Rui mai Brazil ma Brianna Fruin na matai tuina le matangofie o ala ua folasanga i le tatalaina o le fontanga o malo au whaatasi i mta au putau fesuia inga o le tau. Te le folafulanga taitai ese o laulangi ina ia whaititia tūlanga o le whaonga ina o suau ona o se awala e tele lona fisosoani. I le tau fia ai o le vevela o le tau i le tasi te silima. I se vaenga o le folasanga a le tamaitai o Brianna, sa ia whailoa ai sona langona i sui a wai le fontanga, ina ia whaia le mea tonu ma ia whaatino tūlanga e tatau na whaatino, ai le na o ni folafulanga. Whailoa e Brianna to tele tangata Pasifika o lo una i le whaamalusio a wala e tatau na whaatino, a wale fisuia inga o le tau. E le ngato tangata wa afia i lea mata upu, ai ua loa tausanga o sa ili ni awala, a o se la vea i lea tūlanga. Wa o fo i tupulanga le fsilingia, pe iei se tali o lea whaafita oli. O le mea moni e le o mangoto i mātou. Ai o lo tau pea mo se lelenga, e peo na whailoa e Brianna, na tā ua e Brianna aso a o le titi o ia, sa o o ina o ia i le tā ua o le ngangana, ma o lea fo i sa ia whailoa ai se whai upu e whaapea, e pala le maa, ai le pala le tala. O se tamai fast food tausanga le matua ua molia nei molianga o le sawaina e ala i whiusua inga i sona teiteine e sfuluono tausanga le matua. O le nei alii ua molia e to wha sana whanau ma ua molia nei molianga i ono e au fiai molianga i lua o le whaasotoma, lua molianga o whiusua inga e ala i sawanga, whaapea ma le molianga o le whaia o whiusua inga i whainga le talawhiangai. E tali tonu tatou tala mai KVZK. O lea ua molia e tausonga malitina o lea waafia e tolus fuma lima afe le tupe tutongi e le nei ali ai whaapea na te tutongi ina lea tupe ua whaatonuina le whaamasinonga ina ia awane i toi iai se fsota inga ma le waafia ua whaatonuina foi le whaamasinonga ina ia taufia umapepa malanga o le nei tamaa. I se forsanga na tuina mai e le tamaitai fo mai e mtanga luenga se fo maloloina Dr. Francine Amoa na ia whailoa mai e le tūlanga o le au whainga o tuipuipui o le COVID-19 i le territory e whaatutusa lea i le whaitaunga au whai o tangata anu Amerika Samoa mai le ofisa o le census lua awhia luas fulu. Pe o awhia le numero o tui tutono le atunu o le whaitaunga au whai lua awhia luas fulu o sao telenga le nei o le reporti.
O le tausanga lua awhia luas fulu na whaamau inai le ofisa o numero whaamau le mtanga luenga o whaatau inga mati nai e fast fulu i wa awhia fitu se laus fulu le au whaingo tangata. O lo au mau i Amerika Samoa. I tu sai ma whaamaunga na whaongaina na mtanga luenga soifua maloloina. Mai whai numera na tu inatu e lo ofisa o numera whaamaumau. Ua pau i lalo le whai numera lea e mawai lea whainga e fast food fitu afe. Tolu se lau i wasfulu lua. Ai na whaamaunga. Ua iese pau i nei pasene o ni whai numera. O tangata ua mae ana o le tui e tasi. Ma tangata anu ua mae on whai umatui e lua. Ua pasi a daily emergency use authorization. E tui ai whanau ma le lima anga i le sfultasi tausanga i le tui o le visor. E tu sai ma le whaasolonga o tui puipui le territory. O le whaitau au whaile o tangata anu ua iei lalo le whamaumaunga o le tausanga lua awhia lua se fulu. Tangata ua mai a tui puipui a mua mua. E ono sfulu iwa tesi ma le ono pasene. O tangata ele i whaia tui puipui a lona lua e tasi tesi ma le ono pasene. Tangata ua mai a tui mua mua alo whaatali tui lona lua. E tasi tesi ma le iwa pasene. O tangata ua ato o matu i e lua e ona sfulu ono tesi ma le tasi pasene. E lua sfulu tasi tesi ma le wha pasene ele i whaia tui puipuia. E iwa tesi male o e leang vaa iso o se tui pui puia e peona iei whanau i lalo le 5 tausanga. Na whailoa le fo mai a amoa, au tuina mai whaamamonga le ofisa numera whaamau le malo tele, e a wala le matanga luengo whatau inga mātina, e fua ili tausanga po le mātutu o tangata. O le amawhai na matanga luenga le soifua malolo ina ona saunia report o tangata wa mai ona whaitui pui puia. Mo le laula wafono o le COVID-19. Ina ia mawhai ona fisosoani le malulau telo le atunu e au sia le iwa 10% o whaamau tangatano, e whai atui pui puia. Olo ia ile fuafuanga le matanga luenga e ale le whai o tui pui puia i awhio anga teitasi, ma o le maasina o Novema, e au fia ai matanga luenga ese o le malo, ma ofisa, ina i mawhai ona tofusia uma aingo Amerika Samoa ma le tui pui puia. O matanga luenga o le awha ululu aini fuafuanga, o le anga lulu e whaatasi mataitai o awhio anga, e ka lesia, nisi ma le malo, whaapea mala whaasalalau ina ia mautinole o ato whaalinga ile mamalo le atunu, ma o le fuafuanga o le atu ina atu le kovana, a wasi tūlanga aloa ia ina ia whaawawa ili nei whaamoemoe.
O se tasi o whaalinga o taawale tele i le atunu o le awhatautaia lea i le asusfuma tasi o Novema, le Second Annual Veterans Day Show and Shine Car Show, tu whatasia e le vaenga a le Wired to Your Future. O le nei whaamoemoe le a mawaise awa noe whiwhiai a inga mawo, ma whamanatu ai le aso malolo le veterani o le nei tausanga o se whapoponga le nei mai Eric Newsaimasi.
O le aso malolo le veterani le asusfuma le tasi o Novema, le a whaia se whaalingo ta male le Veteran Stadium, rei whaamoi le tu whaatasia le Wired to Your Future, ma o le lua ini o tauvanga o whaatunine le antino, sau nole sunga yan Tim Teleso, e tele kalaputa male le a whaampeon a waire rei whaamoi, na ia tau fo le aunga nei por kalame, ia una ia kalaputa vale te tasi na ia whaalfani, ma whaasoa i taleni, ma whaamalo sia, le usta ia o tula fono i le ana tele, rei whaamoi ulu fua le antino i le eise tongi, ma e yeini so ngā yoinga mata longa, le a whaatunei na wana whaamwhiwhino le whanau, maiso le antino. Tile le whaamoi le tān walu tai au, whaamai le tān sifulu le a wauli. Ma o se vanga tā ua fo lea, e avele a inga, me se fo i o wō mai masani, e wana whaamana tuina o le aso le veterani, le naso malo lo, le aso tofi, le aso sumatasi Novema, lua afe, lua sumatasi.
Usi mai ele mai moa ili tatou tala ili tau.
Tana neo tau mo Amerika Samoa whaamawina lo fisa lai tau. O lo whau pene no whawa aia mo ta whenga malolonga, o le so e awawa e tele timunga, papana whaititili, vele bansuma wha, se vili mai sae sulimanga e lusu mai li tula, mai angi whatau tau i teimu timunga ma whaititili. O se venga malpoa nani awawa e te telefoi timunga whaasuri na toolo timunga te au le vai ruanga o le po. Le valu e fitu suma le valu, se vili mai sae sulimanga e li lusu mai li tula. O le asurulu ma le po le asurulu, e maateli na awawa, e toolo timunga, e vele valu suma le pitu, le valu e fitu suma le valu, se vili mai sae sulimanga e lusu mai li tula. O se venga mai le stofi o antu le po le astonai, maateli na awawa, ta ape solo timu, me vele valu suma le valu, le valu e fitu suma le valu, se vili mai sae sulimanga e lusu mai li tula. O se venga mai le sae o antu le asongofu e maateli na awawa, e toolo timunga, me vele valu suma le valu, le valu e fitu suma le valu, se vili mai sae sulimanga e lusu mai li tula. Tana nau tau mo Amerika Samoa.
Amerika Samoa fai unga le nau talafou whaftai mai mon whaafonga mai tō whaasefua.
Olo o iai se awa nofenga luenga i le Fileti Barstow Public Library, mo se Territorial Librarian, e whaangata le talio talasanga ia Novema lo nasa tolu. Mo nisi whaamtalanga whaamulimole telefoniane i le ono iwa lua tolu tasiono.
Whaasisilanga taua mo le prokalama tau mafa mo whanawa onga mai le DHSS. Ina ia whaititia le tumtumu o le atunuu i le official food stamp mo le siakina o pepa talusanga mo le prokalama o tau mafa mo whanawa onga. Ua whaamalasia nei le mtanga luenga o tau tua malanga manuia lau tele. A matatu nei, e nao i lātou lava sa wala awina e tala au mai e whaamaunia o lātou pepa talusanga e mawhai o nau whale. O le a iai le lisi o suafo i lātou e talia o nau whale i le ofisa mo nei au nanga. Mo nisi whaapulanga, telefoni mai le ono tolu, fitu 5 ono. Talo Falavan, here's the news. Effective November 1st, COVID-19 vaccination is now mandatory for all employees of the American Samoa government, including but not limited to career service employees, political appointees, and contract employees. Eric Newsaimasi has more.
The Manu issued the first amendment to the recent iteration of the Declaration of Ongoing Public Health Emergency and State of Emergency dated October 8, 2021. The amendment states that the COVID-19 vaccination is now mandatory for all executive branch employees of the American Samoa government, including but not limited to career service employees, political appointees, and contract employees. These employees have until December 15, 2021 to provide proof of full vaccination to the Director of Department of Human Resources, DHR. Individual offices and agencies can also collect proof of vaccination from the employees on behalf of DHR. The term full vaccination is defined as a person who has received the full course of vaccination and 14 or more days have elapsed after the final administration of the vaccine. Governor Manu states, "I want to thank the public for their patience and support. As you know, the American Samoa government has launched incentive programs, stressed personal responsibility, deployed mobile vaccination units, and coordinated with the Office of Samoan Affairs, villages, and private sector partners to encourage and push to increase vaccination uptake. However, our numbers have not reached our 80% goal. The virus continues to spread across the world, and the numbers show infections and deaths are higher among unvaccinated population." He continues, "This is not an easy decision for any leader to make, but I want to commend the Lieutenant Governor Carr as well as members of the COVID-19 task force for the courage to move forward and present all options and findings on how to increase rates and awareness for our citizens responsibly. The COVID-19 task force, Department of Health, and partners have tried different approaches with the hope that more of our citizens would consider becoming fully vaccinated. However, we have exhausted these avenues and based on recommendations from the task force. I hope that this call to action will help bring up our numbers. The borders will also remain in a limited control flight operation until the territory's vaccination numbers reach 80% and 90% fully vaccinated. The amendment states that the full course of vaccination is a person who requires 2 shots to become full vaccinated. Due to the recommended interval between doses, 21 days for Pfizer and 28 days for Moderna, an employee will need to receive the first Pfizer dose by November 24th and the first Moderna dose by November 17th. No employee hired after the effective date of this amendment shall begin work until they demonstrate that they can comply with the mandatory requirements. Any executive branch employee who fails to provide vaccine proof by December 15 will result in a suspension. They will no longer be allowed to enter government-owned or leased building, vehicle, or enter any work site or location where they will be in the presence of other ASG employees or members of the public in the course of their employment. While in suspension, the employee may use accumulated annual or sick leave. Otherwise, their suspension will be without pay. Although vaccination will be mandatory, exception to the vaccination requirement will only be permitted as the law requires. A reasonable accommodation may be provided to employees who communicate in writing to the DHR about why they are unvaccinated. These reasons may be due to a disability or a sincerely held religious belief, practice, or observance.
A little after 9 p.m. last night, the 4th Hawaiian Air commercial flight arrived at Pago International Airport in Tafuna since the commencement of commercial flights to American Samoa in August. All 262 passengers that arrived last night are now in quarantine for the next 14 days, and DOH will be carrying out 3 rounds of testing at all quarantine sites. As per quarantine requirements, if there is a positive case, another 14 days will be added for all travelers to remain in isolation. DOH will provide their usual updates sometimes this week once all passengers are settled into our quarantine sites. KVZK News understands that bus drivers who worked last night and other first responders are also in quarantine for 10 days. 2 young women, Surui from Brazilian Amazon and Samoan Brianna Fruin, have delivered striking speeches during the opening of the United Nations COP26 Climate Summit, World leaders have made various new pledges to decrease emissions in the lead up to COP26, which is seen as being key to limiting global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Young Samoan activist Brianna Fruin on Monday urged delegates at the summit to have the political will to do the right thing, to will the right words, and to follow it up with long overdue actions. Ms. Fruin said young Pacific Islanders have been leading the way in the region in pushing for greater climate action. We are not just victims to this crisis. We have been resilient beacons of hope. Pacific youth have rallied behind the cry. We are not drowning, we are fighting, she said. Ms. Fruin said when she was young, she was taught the importance of language and told delegates of a proverb in Samoan language that translates to even stones decay, but words remain. Here's a short clip of Ms. Fruin's presentation that was attended by world leaders, including President Biden. A man accused of sexually assaulting his 16-year-old niece has made his first appearance in court since his arrest 2 months ago. The 40-year-old father of 4 children is being charged with 6 criminal counts. That includes 2 counts of sodomy, 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse, 2 counts of third-degree assault, punishable by imprisonment for up to 15 days and a fine of up to $300 or both. Documents obtained by KVZK News provide that the victim's mother is the cousin of the men charged. The court has set $35,000 surety bond for his release. If he posts his bond, the court orders that the defendant is not to have direct or indirect contact with the victim or government witnesses, to surrender his travel documents to the government attorney, and he is not to leave or attempt to leave the territory without a written order of the court. The American Samoa Department of Health's Francine Amor presented the vaccination rates for the territory and how updates on the official 2020 census count have impacted local vaccination numbers. Here is more.
The official 2020 American Samoa population count reported by the U.S. Census Bureau to the American Samoa Department of Commerce is 49,710. Data utilized by the American Samoa Department of Health prior to the release of the U.S. Census Bureau's official 2020 population numbers estimated American Samoa's total population for the year 2020 at 47,392, a few thousand less. Thus, the total population denominator has led to a slight decrease by a few percentage points regarding the total number of individuals of the entire population with at least 1 dose and individuals that have been fully vaccinated. Further, the recent approval of emergency use authorization of the Pfizer by the FDA for children aged 5 to 11 years old has increased the number of eligible residents in the territory. The most recent vaccination figures for vaccination coverage of the entire territorial population based on the 2020 census population are as follows. 69.6% have at least 1 dose, 1.6% due for second shot, 1.9% first shot only and waiting for second shot, not past due. 66.1% are fully vaccinated, 21.4% has no shots yet, 9.0% are ineligible, children under 5 years of age. Dr. Amo emphasized that as the U.S. Census Bureau via the A.S. Department of Commerce provides further data on the population breakdown by age, Department of Health will be able to provide specifics on vaccination coverage by age group to the COVID-19 task force. To help achieve our goal, 90% of American Samoa population being vaccinated, there is a multi-day mass vaccination drive planned for all the villages in American Samoa in late November, involving various ASG departments and agencies to ensure that every household in American Samoa has access to the COVID-19 vaccine. Key agencies will work closely with leaders of villages, churches, businesses, NGOs, government, and the media to ensure public information and awareness on the mass vaccination initiative is rolled out strategically. The plan will be presented to the governor for his approval.
An exhibition of the vehicles that will be conducted on November 11th at Veterans Stadium. This program includes some car clubs around the territory, which is expected to feature in this competition. This is the second annual Veterans Day Show and Shine Car Show. This initiative is consolidated by the Wired to Your Future, an opportunity for family and friends to celebrate Veterans Holiday. Here's more from Eric Nusaimasi.
This is the second year since Wire to Your Future put together this car competition, and this program will now showcase many cars with their different designs from every car club in the territory, including trucks and buses and motorcycles.
So the main purpose of this show is to spark interest within our kids, our youth, within the car community. There's a lot of us here who are really good at this craft, and we have a lot of interest within our youth, and we just want to give them an avenue to have access to this specific trade. So as far as for competitors on the day of the show, we will open the gates at 8 a.m. So you can come anytime after 8, but no later than 11. We'd like to have all the cars set up and ready to go before we open the gates to the public. So we ask that you please don't procrastinate and please show up early so that we can make sure our show is a good showing for our public. Some of the things that we'll have on that day will be food booths, jumpers for the kids. Last year we had 4 jumpers. This year we're trying to have 6, just so the kids can have something to do while their parents are out checking out the cars, or even if the kids want to check out the cars too. Then we have 6 food vendors, be serving a different variety of food for our people to come and enjoy. So next week Thursday, November 11th, will be our 2nd annual Veterans Day Show and Shine. We'd like to ask all of our competitors and anyone who has interest in competing in the show to please register before this Saturday. So our last day for the $50 registration will be this week Friday. We also have a meeting this week Friday at 5 p.m. at the stadium. You can show up there and pay your registration there. Every day after that, up until next week Wednesday, registration will be $100. And if you come the day of and register, it'll be $300. This is not to try and make money off of, but to incentivize early registration so that we may better plan our layout for the show.
According to Team Teleso, registration is still open for those who want to attend, and this car show is free to enter and is an important place for children and families to hang out in celebration of the Veterans Day this year, 2021.
Now here's a look at our weather report.
American Samoa, here's your weather. For today, cloudy, widespread showers, isolated thunderstorms, highs around 84, east winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts near thunderstorms. For tonight, cloudy, widespread showers becoming numerous after midnight, lows around 78, east winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour. For Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, numerous showers, highs in the upper 80s, lows in the upper 70s, east winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour. For Thursday through Saturday night, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, highs in the upper 80s, lows in the upper 70s, east winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Sunday through Monday, mostly cloudy, numerous showers, highs in the upper 80s, lows in the upper 70s, east winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that's your weather, American Samoa.
American Samoa, that's telephone for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Employment opportunity at the Fileti Barstow Public Library for a territorial librarian. Closing date will be November 3rd. For more information, please call 699-2316.
Important announcement from DHSS for applicants for PEPT for school children. To avoid unnecessary overcrowding and delays at the ASNAP office, effective immediately, the ASNAP office will no longer accept any applicant coming in for PEPT who has not had a confirmed appointment from ASNAP. There will be a daily list of applicants who will be allowed in the office. Please wait until you get a call from the ASNAP office before coming in. For more information, please call 633-7506.
I often hear that we are considered the future of American Samoa.
If we are truly the future of America Samoa, then why do we have a ton of trash in the streams, on the road, and coastal areas?
Why is it so hard to keep our small island clean?
Yeah, why is it so hard?
Why America Samoa?
If you truly care about our future, take a stand keep America Samoa clean and beautiful.
As the Tava'i bird takes pride in its feathers, so should we take pride in our culture, our environment, and our identity. Now is the time for change. Let us all take a stand to protect public health and our environment for a clean and safer tomorrow.
This message was provided by the Island-wide Cleanup Committee.